John, thanks for taking some time out of your day to do another one of these conversion focused website teardowns with me. Today, we're going to take a look at a brand called Scentsy, and I'll get the website fired up here. But I really have no idea what they do or what they sell. I could guess it's something around candles or air fresheners or something, and seems like that's being reinforced here. But not sure if you have any previous exposure to Scentsy or know anything coming into the review today.
I've definitely heard of the brand before, but I'm not a huge purchaser of candles, so that might be kind of the deterrent there. But if I understand correctly, they equip people to resell their products, kind of like an Avon method, I
Hmm.
think. Maybe that's where I've heard of them. Maybe that's the Scentsy Club. I'm not sure.
Interesting. Okay. Well, let's take a look. First glance, the one thing I noticed is there's no discount pop up yet. So that's good because we hate to see those just kind of jumping out at you right away within a few seconds of hitting the
Mhm.
site, especially if you're a new to file customer like me that doesn't really know all that much about Scentsy. So I think that's a positive at first glance.
Mhm.
And then the other thing that I notice about this page, just taking a look at it, is there's a lot of material and content to consider here. And unless I already know what I was looking for coming into this, I'd be a little overwhelmed in terms of where to start or where to start exploring and what products to dig into.
Yeah, there's so much going on here, and just even in that image. But if we did eye tracking, you'd see the eyes really come down and just be looking all over that image because there's so much going on with just the design of that, the really emotive photo of the lady, and then all the colorful products in the dollhouse or something of that sort. It's all very, very hard to really understand where to focus on this. And then, the navigation is, as you mentioned, has a lot going on. It is we call these mega navs, where it's a multi-level navigation there. So you've got the shop, which you can dive right in. But the first thing you're being asked to do is choose a consultant. If I've never heard of Scentsy, I don't know what a consultant is, and that can be a little confusing before I even start to shop. Um, and then they have the club, host, and join, which, again, I don't know a whole lot about this. So, at first I'm kind of thinking, oh, well, that's interesting to me, but what is the club? What am I hosting? So I think they're trying to serve a lot of different users, right? Different types of users in this navigation. And that's where it gets a little complicated.
Yeah, for sure. That's something that, if we had more access to their data or their customer research, that would inform probably the rest of the recommendations we're going to make today. If they do that kind of consultant model, I'm guessing, this
Mhm.
is where you would find somebody who's kind of a retailer or, a reseller of Scentsy products near you. But it's almost like those two demographics because there is some indication here that maybe a general consumer can come from a Facebook ad or a search result and buy stuff for themselves too because I saw something here about a subscription. And so it's almost like you need two different landing spots for those different audiences, right? And it's like anytime you're trying to attract a consultant to join your workforce or whatever, you would want to have them land at sensei.com/partners or whatever that might be. Whereas the
Mhm.
average consumer coming in off the street might land on a homepage similar to this and not have some of this host or join or something like that. It would be a more focused navigation because there's just a lot going on here. One thing I'll say though is, I get what they're trying to sell me right off the bat, right? The name is
Right.
Scentsy, the brand is fun and colorful. You can see what appears to be candles or some kind of like air freshener here. So I think the 5 second test that we talk about a lot, like when somebody lands on your site, do they know what you're trying to sell to them and who you serve? I think that box is kind of checked here for me.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. So then let's see. Do you want to say anything more specific about the navigation? I mean, I know we talked about that it's a mega menu or a mega navigation here
Mhm.
with a whole bunch of different options. The club looks like it has its own categories and how it works and benefits. I mean, I know that they have a lot to communicate, but man, this is a lot of pathways for somebody to go down, and maybe they're not the most desirable one, right? Like the most desirable one is a purchase or attracting a new
Right.
consultant, and it's like there's a lot of stuff here that doesn't necessarily get me any closer to either of those outcomes.
I think that that might be true, but they are relying quite a bit, it would appear to me, that visitors coming to the site have an understanding of who they are and how they sell. And that may be the case based on the marketing messaging that they're using to get people here and what they know people are searching for to end up here. My guess is that, you know, you can only buy through a reseller. And if that's the case, they're allowing you options to choose the consultant that you work with.
Mhm.
But in terms of just a pure shop, if I'm a consumer and I've never heard of them and did some search and ended up here, I get pretty quickly what it is that they're selling through this navigation, right? They start with scent, which makes sense. Warmers and wax, diffusers, fan diffusers, unplugged, makes sense for me. And then laundry and cleaning, okay, great. Body, great. Kids, pets. So I think that there's a lot there that works. I don't know that I would have specials as its own item. I think there's so many navigation items here that you're probably, if we did eye tracking on this, you're seeing drop off before the people even get to the end. But I think that there's some options here that make sense, and I think that the navigation definitely helps people understand what they're selling. And then, starting with shop being the item that's active, I think is the right move here because you're really targeting the end consumer, not the consultant who should already know how to use the site.
Right. Okay, let's go down below the hero section here and see what we get into next. So it looks like they've got some seasonal campaigns almost, or just high priority marketing campaigns here. They're focused on the color yellow, which is fun, and also citrus scents. So I don't know. This is a little bit of a unique case where it's like most of the time we would encourage some more messaging here around like who you
Mhm.
are, what you sell, who you serve. But it kind of feels like the people coming here are either already consultants selling Scentsy, and so they want to see the latest products that they can add to their inventory and sell to their clients and customers, or there's
Mhm.
somebody who is interested in becoming a consultant, and maybe this isn't necessarily a bad choice because of the business model that Scentsy has.
Yeah, I don't know that I would start with a color. I do think the citrus scent helps here, but the color doesn't really tell me much more about the products,
Mhm.
right? Other than that they come in yellow, which if it's a scent brand, does the color matter that much? I mean, I'm sure it's part of the appeal, but I do think that I would really focus in these lockups here on helping brands to understand what they should be um, or helping consumers, excuse me, understand what the categories are and help them drill deeper, right? What they should be looking for to solve their pain or their need and the reason that they're at the site.
Yeah, it's an
What's the
interesting
functionality?
Interesting choice here in the CTA button. This one says shop yellow products, but this one just says shop now. And I wonder if that's an active test they've
Mhm.
got running or if it's really just an oversight. But it seems like some consistency here. And I think I would lean toward the left option, which is like tell people exactly what they're going to shop with. So this would be shop citrus products or shop
Mhm.
citrus scented products, something like that.
Yeah, and I'm never a fan of Shop Now as a CTA option, only because when you click on Shop Now, you're really thinking as a consumer, I'm going to start buying, right? And at this stage from your homepage, only thing you need to be worried about is getting consumers to that next step in the funnel, not pushing them all the way to purchase at this point.
Yeah. The other difference I'm noticing here is, this one very clearly shows yellow Scentsy products, but this one shows fruit, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But like, could you also show citrus scented products here in a
Mm.
layout? That would be more powerful, I think, and more relevant than just fruit. And I understand that you might not be able to set up a photo shoot right now with everything going on, but if you have that option or if you have that ability, I think some consistency there would be a lot better too. Because I'd love to see and it shows the breadth of your product line too. You could have a soap, a hand soap, whatever, an air freshener, a candle, all laid out, different kinds of citrus
Mhm.
scents, probably all different colors. I think that would look just as beautiful as this high resolution picture of fruit, but it'd be much more relevant in terms of what you actually offer. Um, okay, hopping down, then it looks like they do kind of a monthly selection for scents and warmers, which is kind of fun. And it looks like what's this one all about? Palm trees and ocean breeze. That sounds nice. What do you think about
Yeah,
this
I could go
section
for
here, the
some palm
CTA?
trees and ocean breeze.
Right.
And this is really what I would like to see higher up on the page. Because here I'm getting a good understanding that it's not just a scent diffuser, they've made it fit into the decor. right? Like we have a lot of succulents here in our office at the good headquarters, and because they're easy plants to take care of, I could see putting this in our office to have it smell better and it fit into the decor, right? That really helps me understand A, that you're selling scents, B, that they are timed to the theme of the month, etc., and C, that I have options on the scent around like palm trees and ocean breeze. That was the first thing you and I both just latched onto, right?
Mhm.
When we saw this, like, hey, that sounds great. So I would suggest moving this further up. I think this section right here is wonderful, much better than showing pictures of fruit. Even though, as I scroll back, if you scroll back up a little bit now, I'm recognizing that see the orange pods that are kind of in that fruit.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the scent things that you put into that little holder. It looks like I
Mhm.
can see them in next to the succulents.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have known that, and I think a lot. I don't. Again, I'm not the target consumer, but I do think there are other folks who most likely would not have understood that.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense now that you look at it. When I first saw it, I thought it was like, they cut up a piece of a melon or something,
Mhm.
like it was just
Yeah,
kinda sitting there.
I had the
Um,
same assumption until I saw the green ones sitting next to the succulents there.
yeah, even a dish like this with the orange ones in it, would make that
Mhm.
more obvious. So, I'm curious about this particular CTA.
Yeah.
I know normally we don't recommend going straight to add to cart or a PDP off of this. It would be more of a category or something like that. But like,
Mhm.
because this is a very specific thing, like you get the warmer and the scent. Would you maybe recommend testing that out? Like just add this straight to cart because you're buying a very specific, like it's already kind of defined what you're getting at.
Mhm. Well, first of all, I would say that I'm never one for adding to cart directly from a homepage, only because consumers still have more questions, right? You would have to put a lot of information here, and it might as well look like a product detail page, right? You have to put the price, you're going to have to start getting into shipping, perhaps, or you're going to have to get into options if they have any. And I'm not a fan of the call to action button. It doesn't match any of the other buttons, so that's a challenge for me. Secondly, you really want to be consistent on those styles, right? Secondly, shop now again is not really what I would push to. I would push to view packages or view scent of the month or something of that sort. Shop now again, it's just as you said, you could see how people might want to just buy this, but I still don't know what I'm buying. Am I buying that succulent warmer? What comes with it? So I think I have more questions. What's the cost? All the things.
Right. Okay, let's scroll down. Looks like we've got social media or an Instagram lockup here, and there's a carousel associated with it. And then it looks like you could go through to view the entire gallery. So, first thing to me as a marketing guy, like I love the concept of this. I love encouraging customers to take photos of their products. That's great for ad creative. It's great for just material to fill up your posting schedule, or like your feed. I know that they have these made shoppable. So I'm guessing, I'm not sure if this would add it straight to your cart or take you to that product page. Maybe we can test that in a second. But yeah, I think as long as this doesn't link out to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever these are hosted, I think this is a good section here for featuring your products and showing them in context, right? And making them that much more appealing to a prospective customer who lands on the site and gets to this far down the page.
Yeah, exactly. That's always the big mistake we see here, right? Sending them into that black hole that is Instagram or other social networks.
This plus icon is a new element too. Like I
Mhm.
haven't seen that yet, and we're used to seeing buttons, and even the buttons look a little bit different. But that to me seems like an interesting choice here in terms of like shop now is not the CTA. The button presumably is the CTA, but if I click anywhere on this image, it's probably going to take me there. And also,
Mhm.
it's like wonder where they're piping these likes in from because they are different for each photo. This one doesn't have any. Maybe it's the newest one. Um, yeah, it's an interesting choice here, and then the gallery would probably just be a bigger selection of all of these. But I'm not sure that anybody would. I don't know. Maybe it's worth testing or checking the analytics, but I'm not sure anybody's going through to explore the entire gallery, right? I bet they're kind of looking at the first few, maybe navigating left and right, looking at a few more, and then moving on down the page. That'd be my guess.
Mhm. Yeah, I think I'd want to do some eye tracking on this because I'm all about the social proof and showing it in real life. I think in use photography performs pretty well for most cases. But at the same time, I'm not really seeing a clear call to action here. When you roll over, it says shop, right? I believe shop now.
Hmm.
But as a consumer, again, am I buying that product? I'm immediately going to be taken to that product. I don't know. And I really don't know what product I'm looking at. And some of these, there's multiple things in the photo. So I'm trying to figure out exactly what it is I'm going to be buying.
Yeah. It seems like if you can customize the number of likes based on the photo, then you should be able to say, shop diffuser or shop this
Hmm.
scent or whatever this is. Let's just see. Okay, so that's going to open up a window, and then it looks like you're buying this kind of. I'm guessing that's a liquid diffuser. It looks like there's a little wick in there or something. But
Hmm.
yeah. So powered by
Okay.
Curelate. There you go. There's your
There you go.
uh,
Yep.
nice. Okay.
Client of ours. Yeah.
Nice.
Great.
So then moving on down, let's see what we've got here. This looks like their subscription, and then let's see with always get my bar. I don't know. Maybe this is more like contextual. If you know, you know, right? Like if you're part of the tribe, if you're one of the consultants already, you understand what these things are. But to me, it's a little confusing. Like, if this is the new cent of the month, like subscription,
Hmm.
but as a consultant, why would I be getting a subscription other than to always know the latest and greatest products that I can sell to my customers, which kind of makes sense. And then the always get my bar, like no clue what that would even be. So just kind of left with a bunch of questions here, especially like save now. What is that? There's no discount messaging here to align with
Right.
saving anything. It'd be like join the club, right? Or something like that. Just a bunch of, I don't know, a bunch of ambiguity here, I think, or misalignment between what I'm expecting and what, they're saying on the page.
100%. I think that's really interesting. Whiff box is it? Yeah, I think it needs a better description of exactly what it is. I think they're trying to be cute with the branding, and while I get that and I can appreciate it, I do also think it's a challenge just to understand the product. And the club, hey, great, I sign up for the club, but it says save now. What am I saving? What's the benefit there? It's not. The benefit is never lose a favorite scent,
Hmm.
right? But save now doesn't really align with that. So there's some disconnect between the messaging and the call to action.
Yeah. Especially with always get my bar. Okay, maybe that's a bar of soap. This does not look anything like a bar of soap, and it's like, yeah, it's just a little weird here. I think some customer focused messaging would go a long way. Like, how does this help me be a more effective consultant for
Hmm.
Scentsy would make a lot of sense here. Or how do I make sure that my customers can always get their favorite scent, right? Because I've got some kind of inventory reservation ability by joining the club kind of thing. I think
Hmm.
there could be some more clarity there. And then let's see. So you can host a virtual party. And okay, so now you're asking your consultant for details. I'm confused. So now it's like there are multiple levels to this, maybe, where there's like a consultant,
Hmm.
and then that person goes out and recruits individual resellers or whatever. And so, kind of like the consultant is the team manager, they help you host a virtual party. So they have a higher level of access, maybe to the Scentsy corporate team or whatever,
Hmm.
more resources. Another one of these kind of faded CTA buttons. It's a little different than what we saw up in the navigation and further up the page. What do you think about this kind of dedicated kicker box for hosting a virtual event?
Um, I'm a little torn because again, I think they could really go deeper on the messaging if they were to personalize this based on interactions. So if I've jumped right into the shop, treat me like a consumer unless I'm logged in as a consultant, right? And if I start looking at some of these consultant items, then start treating me and sending me messaging around how to host a party, sign up for the subscriptions, do those types of things. Right now, it's just too many messages to too many people, and it ends up being really confusing for those who want to just come in and buy, right? Which is likely a good portion of their audience.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it would be helpful to have just more access to, information about their customers and just know the type of
Mm.
people who are hitting the site and where they're coming from. Because, I'm thinking if this is primarily oriented around people who want to be resellers or consultants, like I haven't even seen a, how it works kind of thing, or the different
Right.
roles that you can play or the ladder you can climb. You come in as an individual reseller, you sell enough there, you can become a consultant, run your own team of resellers, whatever. Like there is no 1, 2, 3 process for like sign up, buy your samples, host your first
Mhm.
party, like even just a lockup about that to show someone what their experience looks like. If your ultimate goal is to convert as many visitors to new resellers or consultants as you can, I think that's a big miss here. So it'll be helpful. It would be helpful to know more about the traffic that's hitting this page. And then, like you said, orient all of the messaging, at least on this homepage, around that one specific use case and just try to optimize for one goal instead of all these different like buy individual projects or products, buy an individual subscription, join the club, become a host or host a party. Like it's just a lot of mixed messages. And, generally that many options leads to the status quo or no activity, right? It's like, I'm just going to bounce because I don't know what you want me to do.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And then, they're right into that catalog again, which I don't know. Is the catalog for the end user? Is it for the consultant? I don't know off the top of my head, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And then looks like some social proof, again, oriented around, hey, I became a Scentsy consultant or
mhm.
reseller, and it's given me freedom to make better choices for my family. Like, love this. This is powerful stuff. And then you're getting more into like kind of the lead generation or whatever, like apply to become a consultant or learn more about it. If this is the primary goal of the homepage, then I think this is a great section. But again, I would want it to be prefaced by like, first benefits of being a consultant, more freedom, stable income, whatever, like a career and a family, like manage your family and your career at the same time, have that kind of flexibility, whatever, then how it works, and then how it works specifically for this woman here and improved her life. That kind of flow is more logical to me than what we've seen so far, if the primary goal of this page is to attract more consultants.
Agreed. Yeah, and I think it goes back to having too many messages on one homepage.
Yep. Okay, so then let's get down near the bottom of the page here. We've got these two sections here, and then we'll get into the footer. So I'm trying to figure out what this even is. Recall. Okay, so this is a
Yeah.
product recall. Seems like something that maybe shouldn't be buried this far down the page, right? That
Well, perhaps, but having worked with so many e-com brands, I can tell you that this happens occasionally, and when it does, they're required. There's regulations around how long they have to display it publicly,
Mhm.
and a lot of times, what these brands do is they put it in like a notification bar at the top of their site for a predetermined time period, and then they message everybody, and then the rest of the time it ends up further down on the page. So it's not projecting that they have safety issues, if that makes sense, but they're still meeting the requirements. So I'm not upset about it being down here, depending on the timing. Yeah, but yes, if it was something that just came out, then it needs to be higher on the page.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good context. I wasn't aware of that. That's insightful. And then throwing this one here, this kind of feels like out of place. It's like a Hail Mary, like, please do something for us. And it's almost like, well,
Hmm.
if this is the last ditch effort, then, maybe just remove it. Like, I bet nobody's really making it far down this page. And I bet when they get down
Hmm.
here, they're not clicking on these to go search. Like, they've already made their decision to come back up and do something else that they've already seen, or they're just going to abandon the page altogether. I'm just doubtful that, people are engaging with this at a high level. And so maybe it just doesn't need to be there at all. Right.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not upset about the actual lockup of this. I would just move it higher on the page, because I think your criticism here is hey, if somebody gets this far down the page, is that really going to save them? I agree with that. Probably not, right? Because it's not a chance about what the fragrance family is at this point. It's about being confused if they get this far down the page about, should I be signing up for a membership? Do I need a membership? Do I have to find a consultant, or can I just buy the product that I want? So I would move this higher on the page where things get confusing up top, where the first two blocks that were up there with the fruit and the above the succulent tray. Yeah, the
Mhm.
fruit and the yellow. I would almost dive people right in there, right? Help them get to the type of scent that they want, and then worry about the product from there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking is like, okay, I'm not into yellow and I'm not into citrus, but if you gave me the opportunity to explore something I might be more interested
Mhm.
in right there, then I'm likely to click on that. I think
Yep.
personally the last kind of section above the footer, if you're going to put a CTA here, it should either be a Hail Mary effort to try to get them to do your primary goal or your secondary goal. And for a lot of e-commerce brands, it's like buy a thing or join our mailing list so we can nurture that relationship and hopefully get you to be a customer later, assuming that Scensy's primary goal is to get somebody to become a consultant. I mean, they're coming right off of that call to action
Mhm.
here. So I think the next best thing here would be some kind of lead capture effort where it's like, do you just want a little bit of information? Let us send you our pamphlet that tells you about being a consultant. There's no obligation, whatever. Give us your
Mhm.
email. We'll send you the PDF, something like that. It's something like grow your audience, get somebody in the very, very top of the funnel, and then do your best to nurture that relationship and convert them into a consultant over time. And what I would do instead is move this up like you suggested, and then put something like that down here at the very end.
Yeah. Well,
All right.
I think they've done a great job though. Otherwise, on this site, the footer, I do think it's missing some contact information. They do have that small contact link, but I would almost move the logo, lock up that whole left side. I would just move it over to the other side of the page, and then I would move all the other columns to the left. I'm wondering, where I'm stuck is usually on the far left column. I would recommend a buying like product navigation, but I the more we look at the site, the more I think it's a catalog, but it's not really here for consumers to buy, right?
Mhm.
Right off the website, which I would really want to talk to somebody at Scentsy about what the main goal is here, because again, I think they're really pushing to get more people into into the reseller family, if you will. But yeah, I don't know. I do find it interesting that they're really not pushing buying products at this point. And I don't know where you would start with those product categories, because there's so many of them in that main navigation that if you were to do that here, that'd be a really tall column of links.
Right. It's almost like so you move this entire section on the left-hand side to the right, and then you would
Hmm.
start with be a part of Scentsy. So do something, become a consultant, get a career here, host a party, and then maybe helpful links for consultants. So that's where you get into the catalog and some of their policies. And then the third column would be about Scentsy life and kind of the backstory and our leaders. Maybe that's how I'd orient it. And then I'm not sure if you already said this and I missed it, but like I know we like to see phone number, address, email, kind of the trust trifecta here
Yes.
in this instead of this paragraph of text that I bet nobody's reading. So it's like, can we make this 2 lines and then say contact us through these 3 channels if you like,
Mhm.
and get out of there after that.
Yep. Exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's great. Um, all in all, though, James, I think they've done a decent job with the site, trying, the best that they can, trying to serve two different communities on one page like this, and make it helpful for everybody. I think there's some small tweaks that they could make. We've called out that could help them improve, but the reality here is, I give the site a B. I don't think it's amazing because they're trying to tackle those two, but I also don't think it's that horrible. I think they've done the best that they could probably do at this point. And I would definitely want to see some data otherwise, but I think that there's some small things that they could do to get it to that next level.
Yeah, this is the type of site and the type of business where you can't just pull a quote unquote best practice off the shelf and apply it. There's just so much nuance to the size of their product catalog, what they're trying to do from a conversion perspective and attracting new
Hmm.
consultants, selling products, those mixed messages. Like you just really have to get in and do an audit and understand the business before you ever suggest any kind of testing idea, right? And so we're doing the best we can with the information we have, but would love the opportunity, I guess, to learn more about the business and find the right solution for them. So overall, like you said, really strong site, probably in that B category with some areas of opportunity that could be tackled,
Hmm.
especially by the team that has a lot more information than us. So we'll
There
wrap
you
it up
go.
there, though. Thanks a lot, John, as always, for taking time out of your day to do this with me, and we'll look forward to doing another one soon.
I'm looking forward to it. Thanks, James.